They're
They are
sponsoring every.
sponsoring.
Yeah, they're sponsoring
Ah,
everybody. And don't be afraid to ask for
pass.
anything. Yeah, don't be
The
afraid to
worst
ask.
you can say is no.
And it doesn't
But
kill anybody. No doesn't kill. No has never killed anybody.
yeah,
I know that
yeah.
recently in the office somebody was like, "Oh, they paid for them temporary accommodation and things like that."
So today's video, I'm going to be talking. We will be talking about 482 visa. So guys, before I continue this video and allow you to go on and continue watching the video, I just want to apologize in advance. I want to apologize in advance. I'm going through the video and I can see some places I am kind of blurred out. It's not very clear. And unfortunately, I'll be putting the video out like that. The audio is clear. I think so. The audio is clear. So you guys will be able to hear what I'm saying and what Dami is saying, which I think is the most important thing. I'm just asking questions. She's answering your questions. So please, I apologize and bear with me. I just want to put the video out there because it is really hard to get someone to volunteer their time, So it will be really hard for us to film this video again, and I just didn't want to waste time. I just wanted to put the video out there. So I apologize in advance. I apologize in advance. Please bear with me, but the video audio is good. Some parts I am blurred out, but you can still hear me talking. So thank you so much for watching and go enjoy the rest of the video, okay? Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lola Lolita. If you're seeing baby girl for the very first time, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very exciting video for you and a very special guest on the channel, as you can see. So I have Dami, she lives in Brisbane, she's in Australia, and I'll allow Dami to introduce herself to us.
Oh, thanks, Lola, for having me. So my name is Dami, like she introduced. I live in Brisbane, Australia. I'm a mom of two. And yeah, I feel like from the video of today, you get to know more about me. I'm a YouTuber, so but I feel basically about lifestyle. So if it's something that interests you,
Definitely subscribe. Dami's link would be in my description box. She's your plug for if you want to move to Brisbane or you want to see what family life is like in Brisbane. She's got you. Okay. So today's video, I'm going to be talking. We will be talking about 482 visa. So someone asked a question. I'll see if I can find the question. I'll put it on the screen. He asked about 482 visa and all of that, and I was like, I have somebody that can answer all these questions for you, and Dami is here to help us with those questions. Yeah. The first question is, what is 482 visa for people that have no idea what it is?
Okay, so 482 visa is a employer-sponsored visa. So basically what that means is you need an employer to sponsor you to come into Australia, but you're still a temporary resident. It is different from a permanent residency visa. You're on temporary visa, you're working for an employer, and then you have the obligation to be with that employer who have sponsored you into Australia. So I think that's the simplest way to put it.
Okay, thank you. Are there different types of like 482 visa, you'd say? Are there different types of 482 visa?
No, like because 482 is a stream, right? So I don't think there are
temporary skill shortage.
different streams of employer-sponsored visa, but they are not different types of 482 visa. So, for instance, there's the 186. 186 is an employer-sponsored visa as well, but that's permanent residence. Like you get permanent. But 482 is a temporary employer-sponsored visa as well. So there are other streams of employer-sponsored visas, but there's no different types of 482 visa.
Okay. So for the 482 visa, how long do you have to work for the employer?
You have to work for the employer for the duration of the visa because it's a temporary visa, like I said. So until you get permanent residency, that's what like puts you off from the ties of.
How many years is the visa usually?
So it's usually between there are different types. There's short term 482 visa and there's the medium term they call it. So I think from 6 months to 4 years. That's the range.
Okay. So who can apply for this visa? Who is eligible to apply for 482? And
employer.
who is eligible to apply for 482 visa?
So with the way Australia migration works, what I usually tell people, your starting point should always be the occupation list. So if you go to the
Okay.
occupation list, you will see the difference. So for your occupation, for instance, you will see the different visas options available. So there are lots of people who are eligible, but it is a skilled worker stream. So you need to have the right qualification for whichever occupation you're going on. So there are occupations listed that can apply under for it, and it is a lot. So I don't even like from the top of my head. But on the other hand, it's only an employer, like a registered company in Australia, and they have requirements that they need to be able to meet to be able to sponsor someone into
Also,
Australia, and then the minimum salary as well. So there are some certain criteria the employer has to meet, and there are certain criteria that you apply needs to meet. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of occupation lists under 482, so you need to know what works for you. I'm an accountant, and even in accounting, there are different fields. I'm an external auditor, and I know in Australia, external auditor is called out separately. So
oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
that's how it works
So
here.
with 482 visa, can you relocate with your family? I know you relocated with your family, but usually can if you are if you are applying for 482 visa,
Mhm.
is there always possibility for you to be able to relocate with your family if you have family members that want to come with you?
Definitely. You can have accompanying family members come with you on a 482 visa. I've never seen
Oh, that's
anybody who
amazing.
can come with your family. So most people that I even know came with family on 482.
Family.
Yeah.
Okay. So would the employer also sponsor your family, or it's just you they're going?
They're
They're
sponsoring every
sponsoring.
yeah. They're sponsoring
Ah,
everybody.
that
They're
is
sponsoring,
amazing.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
can you tell us like what does it cover? Like your flights?
So
Would they
what
help
I
you
would say,
settle in?
it differs from employer to employer. I've seen different stories in recent time, especially like since I came into YouTube. I've seen different people's offer letter, and then like it takes me by surprise. But what I would say
Yeah,
is more, you need to be able to bargain some of those things because they will
yeah.
almost want to shy away from taking responsibilities from it. But for my own
Ah,
for my own journey, when I came, I got the offer, and then I'm like, yeah, I have family, and I definitely cannot come without them. And they asked for
yeah.
so they covered our visa fee, health examination cost, they covered our flights, like all the basic things till we got here. But immediately, and they
Wow.
picked us up from the airport. But once they picked us from the airport, it ended. So that was just the end
Oh,
sponsorship they offered us. At the time, some of these things have changed. I know that
yeah,
recently in the office, somebody was like, oh, they paid for them temporary accommodation and things like that because of the whole rental
okay.
crisis. So the office have
Yeah,
introduced temporary accommodation so that people get help immediately, at least for the first few weeks when you land.
few
So
weeks.
depends on what you actually bargain with your employer. That is what we say, what they will offer to you, if that makes sense. So, and it differs
Okay.
from employer to employer. So I can't, it's
Oh
not a
yeah.
rule of thumb.
Okay, fair enough. That's good. So I guess it's a thing of bringing out your negotiation power, what you can ask for.
Definitely.
That's
And don't be afraid to ask for
ask.
anything. Yeah, don't be
The
afraid to
worst
ask.
you can say is no.
And it doesn't
But
kill anybody. No does no has never killed anybody.
yeah,
Kill
I
it.
know, right? Oh, that is amazing. That is really good, especially the fact that you can. I like that you can bring your family and they're paying for flights and health, like for you to do the health examination, which is
Yeah.
more so. Okay. Is there age limit for a two visa?
Yeah.
This is age limit.
The age limit is actually 45. And like that's
Okay.
similar to most Australian oh
And a lot
sorry.
of things.
There's no age limit for 482 visa. There's no age limit. It's the next visa, is the transitioning visa that has an age limit of 45.
Oh.
So what I usually tell people is like you can come on 480 even if you're 55, regardless of your age. But then it becomes very hard to get permanent residency because what it's
Residency.
usually the transitioning visa, and that has a age restriction of 45. So that's the only thing.
Ah, oh, okay. Oh, that's a good point. People need to know that if you're planning to do 482 visa, make sure at least to a level you're not up to 45 because you're probably on visa for, like Dami said, between 6 months to 4 years. And then
The thing about 482 as well is you can always renew. Like there are people I know who came in and then they got like they became over 45 and they still wanted to stay,
Okay.
like especially to train their children. So they keep renewing 482 for several years. The only thing is you don't get the
Oh,
benefit.
that's possible.
Yeah, that's possible. You can
Ah,
actually renew 482 several years. But the only thing is you eventually don't get like routes. Like you'll have a slimmer chance of getting permanent residency in Australia.
permanent residency.
You can always
Ah,
do temporary
okay. That
residence.
makes
Yeah.
sense. Ah, okay. Another question I have is: are there restrictions in terms of where you can live on a 482 visa? Is it like a regional visa or is based off of your employer?
It's based off your employer. You can live anywhere, but what I would say is you have to work with your employer. So you can live anywhere, but in a way you're tied to that employer. So regardless of wherever
Employer.
you have to live, just show up at work wherever you choose to live. Show up at work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another question I would have is, okay, I'll ask this one first. From 482 visa, what would you ideally transition into? I think
186.
it's 186. So that is a permanent residency
Yeah.
visa.
Yeah, that's a permanent
Okay.
visa.
Oh, that's good. So, how long do you have to stay on 482 visa before you're eligible to apply for a transition visa?
Again, this depends on your bargaining discussion with your employer because your employer is the one who can do it for you. So
Oh, okay.
186 is also done by the employer. So for us, for
Uh,
instance, after 2 years, we got it was after 2 years on 482 that our employer said, okay, come, we're ready to sponsor you for you to get your
oh,
permanent residency.
yes.
So it depends on your employer as well.
Lawyer.
Some people within 6 months. So it just depends on
Oh, I didn't know that. So employer is the one that would be like, okay, we're ready for you to apply for
definitely you have
the
to have
next.
the conversations. There are
You
people
have to have a
you
conversation.
have to have the conversation immediately you come in, like you want to know what are your chances so that in case they are not willing to sponsor your 186 you start trying the 189 190 by yourself while you're going.
Okay.
So in Australia, if you're migrating to Australia like on a temporary visa, from day one start thinking of how you will get your permanent residency. You cannot just come
Residency.
down and just wait and like this visa is 4 years, I will enjoy myself. No, from day one you need to start
No,
thinking of
you need to
how
start
do I
thinking
get
5 steps
permanent
ahead.
residency. Yeah, so that's the thing.
Okay, okay. Okay. The next question would be, what has your experience been like relocating on a 482 visa for you, your family, and settling in and all of that? Even like in terms of working with, would I say maybe working with your employer? Has it been, how's the experience been in general?
In general, I'll say it has been amazing. I'm one person, like, and I'm speaking for myself now. It may differ for some.
Hmm,
So
yeah.
for me, I'm working with the same organization I was working with in Nigeria, and I've been working. I think this year March made it 10 years. I've been working with this employer, so it was quite a
Wow.
smooth transition for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still
Yeah.
the same thing, the same firm, the same methodology, and things like that. So I really,
Okay.
really like I settled in well. I received favor. It was quite smooth. Like the journey is
Oh,
not
that,
always easy, but definitely, but
yeah.
me, I felt like I had soft landing, and luckily
Mm,
I had amazing people I started working with, like the first set of
wait,
things with. So like I think I was one of those maybe lucky
the
few,
lucky
but
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
because there'll be challenges. The way we do things from back home is different from the way they do things here. So there are
True.
some of all
True.
those things, but with time you get either used to it or exit. But
Yeah.
there's nothing that you cannot survive. That's what I would say.
That's it. Oh,
Yeah.
that is good. That is amazing. The last question I would say I have would be around um with 482 visas, where should people be looking at if they're interested in applying for 482 visa?
So what I would say is the very like like we said, because by the time you put this video out now, like everyone is just like, oh, there's a 482 visa, and then you say, oh, go and start applying on LinkedIn. but that's not how it works. Your starting point
Okay.
is go to the with Australia immigration. The first thing you want to do is go to the immigration imi.gov.au. I think that's
Imi.gov. Yeah, I'll link that in the description so
yeah,
you
go
guys
to
can.
imi.gov, check the occupation list and check the visa options available for your occupation. Because you might be a farmer, for instance, and there's 482 available for you. Whereas someone who is a maybe videographer or something, there's
Ah,
no 482
yeah.
and you go and start applying. But once you're certain that there's a 482 available for your occupation, the next thing you want
Mm,
to do is start checking out LinkedIn, check out Indeed, check out
mm.
Seek
Seek
Australia, like all the jobs.
Dora job
Yeah,
website.
right. And then again, if there's a particular company you like or that aligns with what you do, and you know that is a global company, is a global firm, go to the
Mm.
company's website as well and apply directly. And then one thing I used to
Ah,
tell people again is once you want to start applying for, sponsorship visas in Australia, Google is your best friend. Just go into Google and type jobs, jobs with visa sponsorship in Australia. Type
sponsorship.
it into Google. You're going to see a lot.
What?
And then again, don't give up. You might not get this opportunity immediately. I used to tell people that if you know how many no's I got before I eventually got this yes, because
Yes,
they'll say I've
exactly.
applied to one, I've applied to about five of them. I didn't hear anything, bro. You're not started yet. Like
No.
started yet. So I think that's just like the summary of how to go about it. But let me know.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for that. One last question, and then I think we are ready to wrap up this video. It would be, what are like the requirements for 482 visa in terms of like skill assessment, and what documents should people have if they want to apply for 482 visa?
So for 482 okay, let me start with skill assessment. Skills assessment
Yeah.
differ from job to job. I'm an accountant, like I said, I'm working in an external audit firm. I did not need skills assessment for 482 visa. So I did not do a
Mm-hmm.
skills assessment until I was doing my PR for 186.
Okay.
So you don't need a skills assessment. There's
Ah.
certain occupation that might require it. Maybe it's a specialty kind of occupation. I don't know. But I did not,
Mm.
it's not a mandatory requirement for 482. So the other thing you need is proof of English. So proof of English might be IELTS or you just going to your school and getting a letter to say you were taught in English. I have friends.
English.
I had IELTS because I did it in the past for Canada. So that was why I was able to submit. It was easier. I'm like, I already have it to take as against going to my school. I have friends who went back to their
Mm.
school and just got a letter instead of sitting for IELTS, right? So
Mm.
the other requirements is just your work experience, proof of work experience. Like, I don't know how it's
Ah.
like I said, I was working in the same company. So it's
Organization.
easy to get my work experience from the database or so.
Ah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So, those were the basic experience. Like they're just looking for people who have overseas experience that can fit in into the roles here. So the job requirements will differ from company to company, but
Company.
the main thing is proof of English, your obviously all your certificates, your passports, and things like that. So, but
Okay.
there was no special police certificate, which is standard for
Police
every
check. Police
police check
character. Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
their visa, but there's really no special requirement to be honest.
Okay. Okay. Ah. Thank you so much, Dami, for joining us. Thank you for joining us on this channel. And I'm hoping you guys have heard what Dami has to say. If you have any questions for us, leave it in the comment section and we'll try and answer your questions. Guys, we are not migration agents. Google, like Dami said, Google, and I always say it,
Who
Google
is
is
your
your
best
best friend.
friend? Oh
I'm not,
God.
I can't underestimate it. And people think I'm joking. Google is literally your best friend.
Even
Research, do your own research, and you would be able to, you will surprise you the things you find out online. So
true.
definitely, if you have questions, maybe something is not clear, ask. But we're not migration agents. We don't help with visa or anything. So I just need to put that out there so somebody is not asking me. Yeah. So I would say that is it for this video. If you have any question, maybe something we didn't touch on, ask in the comment section.
We'll
Thank you
come back
all so
to
so
answer
much
you.
for watching. Pardon?
No, I said I'll come back to answer the questions like once the
Ah,
video goes up.
see,
So
look at that. That means happy to come back and answer our questions. So please ask your questions if you have any. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, please
Yeah.
share this video, subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video. Okay, bye
Bye,
guys.
guys.